Parents of troubled children. What was your breaking point? My son Jake was obsessed with fixing things. Sounds innocent, right? At 8 years old, he'd take apart every electronic device in our house just to put it back together. Radios, alarm clocks, even my laptop once. He had this incredible ability to remember exactly where every screw and wire went. At first, my husband Mark and I were proud. He's going to be an engineer, we'd tell people. Jake would beam with pride whenever adults praised his mechanical skills. He'd spend entire weekends in the garage, surrounded by dismantled gadgets, humming contentedly as he worked. The problem started when he ran out of broken things to repair. Our house was running too smoothly for his liking. That's when Jake began breaking our stuff deliberately, just so he could experience the satisfaction of fixing it again. First it was his own toys, then kitchen appliances, then expensive electronics. Jake, why did you take apart the microwave? I'd ask. He'd shrug and say, it needed fixing, Mom. Everything breaks eventually. I'm just helping it along. We tried hiding things, locking up valuables, but Jake was resourceful. He'd find ways to accidentally drop items or cause mysterious malfunctions. The repair bills were mounting, but we figured it was just a phase. Kids go through weird stages, right? Then he moved on to living things. I'll never forget the morning I found him in the backyard, crouched over a wounded sparrow. The bird had apparently flown into our window, and Jake was trying to fix it by straightening its twisted wing with popsicle sticks and rubber bands. The poor creature was barely alive, trembling in his small hands. When I stopped him, Jake looked genuinely confused and hurt. But Mom, it was broken, he said, his voice full of innocent concern. I was helping it. Look, I even made a splint like they do in hospitals. I tried to explain that animals weren't machines, that they could feel pain, but Jake just nodded absently while staring at the dying bird with fascination. Everything can be fixed if you understand how it works, he whispered. The obsession escalated quickly after that. Jake started collecting injured insects, creating elaborate hospitals for them in mason jars lined with cotton and leaves. He'd fashion tiny tools from paper clips and toothpicks, performing what he called surgery on beetles and moths. Most of his patients died within hours despite his careful treatments. We tried therapy, but Jake charmed his way through sessions, talking excitedly about wanting to become a veterinarian. The therapist saw a bright, curious child with a passion for healing. She didn't see what we saw at home, the cold, clinical way he observed suffering. Last week, everything changed. His little sister Lily fell off her bike in our driveway and scraped her knee pretty badly. Before I could grab the first aid kit from inside, Jake was already there, kneeling beside her with his little toolkit. But he wasn't cleaning the wound. He was making it bigger. I watched in horror as Jake carefully used his tweezers to pull away more skin around Lily's scrape, widening the injury while she screamed. His movements were precise, methodical, like he'd practiced this. Jake, stop, I shouted, yanking him away from his sobbing sister. He looked up at me with those calm, analytical eyes. It wasn't broken enough, Mom, he explained patiently, as if I was the one being unreasonable. How can I fix it properly if there's nothing really wrong? Lily barely even scraped herself. The casual way he said it, like Lily was just another broken appliance, made my blood run cold. This wasn't childhood curiosity anymore. This was something else entirely. That night, after we'd bandaged Lily properly, and she'd finally stopped crying, I heard Jake in his room. He was whispering to himself in that same methodical tone. People are the hardest things to fix. They move around too much and make noise. But I'm getting better at finding what's broken inside them. Everyone has something that needs repair. I stood frozen outside his door, listening to my 8-year-old son plan his next project with the detached interest of a scientist. We're moving him to a residential facility tomorrow. The intake coordinator says they specialize in children with unusual behavioral patterns. I didn't tell her about the journal I found under his mattress, filled with detailed drawings of human anatomy and notes about optimal repair locations. I just pray we're not too late.